I didn't know that I had lost my way. Thought everything was gonna be okay, but life was empty. I filled it up and carried on. The pain kept coming, I was going down. I held so tight, kept falling to the ground. I knew I had to change, I knew I had to let it go. And now I found a better way to wash the ego pain away. And then I found the words to say, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. I feel so free, remember every day. The moment all the pain was washed away. I shine so bright now, and I want everyone to know. You've got this living deep inside you too, and it's so easy just to feel brand new. Commit surrender to your divinity within. And then you'll see a better way. Things you don't need will fall away. Your eyes will open and you'll say, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. Oh, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine.
Well,
Hello.
good morning, or Mayang Batog, Mayang Gabi, Mayang Upon,
Buenos dias.
your office. So we got a few languages in there. Uh-huh. Well, your presence is the most valuable thing you could offer, Joanne. For sure. Yes. So,
Welcome, everyone.
welcome. Yes.
Those of you that are new, you ready to be terrified of your light? Those of you returning, great to see you again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Vanessa says no more. I assume that's no more terrified of her light.
Would that be accurate there, Vanessa? Perfect.
Awesome.
You get that when you're in the home stretch. Yeah. That's a home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that all the excuses are made. by the ego, and we believe in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could spend 100 lifetimes playing those games of uh, what this and that. So
Well, our divine brother Sam could tell us all about that one just a couple days ago.
yeah, yeah, maybe you could share that, Sam.
Yeah, Sam, maybe you could share that.
Yeah, Sam.
Woo!
Woo!
Are you there, Sam? I see your name.
Yeah. You're muted if you're attempting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm loving this new schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up for 7 hours already, and it's only 10 a.m. here.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I was going to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning after the streams. Now I'm waking up at 3 or 4. That's been a nice shift.
Yeah, sure.
Spend a good couple hours out in the nature, soaking in the SGH.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, something that come up yesterday/today, and it's quite interesting. And what I find is so tricky is how the ego finds a way to trick us to believe it's better or safer to be out of our light rather than in our light.
We got a buddy in the room here that can share that one.
Case in point. Yeah,
Hey, buddy.
would you like to do that firsthand? Come over here, bud.
Come here, buddy.
Come here. Yeah.
We,
Right,
we
right
met
here, right
met
here.
this guy in the
between.
sauna
Yeah.
not too long ago today.
Yeah, get in here in the middle. Where everybody can see. Yeah. So what happened this morning there, bud?
Need this?
What was that, Don?
I was saying, like, what happened to you this morning?
I found the 700 level wheel at the sauna.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. So how did that happen, bro?
Yeah. Been tricked on the past few days.
Yeah, well, why don't you share with the listener the trick
All
of
right.
the ego?
First of all, hello everyone. Will here. Familiar names here, also new ones. Hello everyone. Okay. Would love to share what happened
Yeah.
in the past few days and today. Well, there's some heavy feeling that I've been carrying on in the past few days, and that was procrastinating and giving other people the power to hold my light. So that was the thing that I've discovered, and we resolved it earlier. But before that, ego is so tricky.
Tell them how the ego tricked you. Tell exactly that.
Yes, because on the 700 level, there was a call where my ego embedded on my thoughts that you can't stay on 700 will as a chief of operations because you can't do things like the 3D things. So I believe I need to train people to do the 3D things. But again, it's a trick, right? So the things that we need to do can't be done really quick. And I think being on my light would not be efficient if I'm doing this 3D stuff. But it's not, because I've at my 700 level, everything will go swiftly. Every task that I wanted to do will just go like that, like straight line, this, do this. Instead, at 400, around those levels, I just go back and forth. Hey, do this. And then just like that, I'm giving away my light to others and
And your
got tricked
power.
by the ego that you can't do other things if you're at 700.
You can't do the 3D things
3D
at
things,
700.
yeah, at 700.
Yet. Will had an experience at 700.
Yep.
And what happened at 700?
It was just like straight, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
And yet he still got tricked by the ego to say that doesn't work.
yeah. And
So-
everyone, we got rid around 80% of the people because we decided everyone should go through the process, right? And that was also I've been holding that feeling because I do still have the like I wanted people don't wanted to get hurt.
Mhm. I
Then,
think we've had that conversation before,
yeah,
haven't we?
in Discovery somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the ego works. Whatever your weakness is, of course, it's going after the weakness. And so with Will, it was like, okay, I have to stay at 300, 400 to work with everybody in the 3D world. And so he gave up his 700, even though he had a powerful example of going like that, enlightening at 700, correct?
Yes.
And you still did that. You still listened to the ego. Agreed?
So the trick was the ego convinced him that he couldn't get the work done if he was at 700. And of course, the opposite was true, which was the work was not getting done when he wasn't at 700.
Yeah.
So everything was stalled. Everything was taking way longer. It's like being on a treadmill that you're moving fast but going nowhere. That's the ego program.
So thanks, Will, for your sharing.
Yes.
So that's the
And thanks for
piece
giving
that-
up that system.
Yeah.
Now we can get some things done, eh?
Yeah, it's about time. We're way
I think
behind.
that crypto bank that 3
Yeah.
months late is going to happen this week.
So yeah. So those of you that have experienced the process, like the Janets and the Lewis.
Looks like Sam's back. Maybe he can share what happened to him a couple days ago.
Yes, Sam, you there, bud? Are you hiding?
Yes. No, sorry.
Alright.
I was in the taxi and I didn't hear you guys if you
That's
called on.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. We don't mind waiting for you to tell the truth.
That's about time.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, so here, let me turn on my
Yeah.
camera.
So,
Hello.
Hey, he looks familiar.
Yeah,
Different,
you
though.
guys, who's that guy next to Jamie? That young fella over there. Yeah, so I had a really, really powerful transformation. I got that last little piece that had been holding me back, giving up my light with Dawn. I think it was I don't even know, 3 days ago, something like that. And so, yeah. So just to share with you guys, I'm sure someone's gonna need to hear this. I kept on giving up my light because there was a surrender piece, which you've heard Jamie talk about over and over and over again. Especially with the guys like Jamie and I, and all the guys have done this spiritual development, the personal development, thinking we got it, especially when the language is there. It's
I think
really
the
tricky.
religion piece was in there too, wasn't it?
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. Just just
Aren't you a recovering Muslim or something?
Recovering Muslim. Yeah, sure. That's a good way to put it.
continue, bud.
Yeah, so where do I start? Basically, obviously I had a really powerful transformation over a year ago with Dawn, and I think it was a few days I was in my life. I was at the 700, and then I just kept on giving it up. And then even when I came here 2 months ago, or has it been 2 months? I don't know, January the 3rd. I had some really powerful experiences, and I kept on giving up my light, and I didn't know what it was. Or at least I wasn't fully aware because I never got to that root, that one piece that kept on like allowing me to just give it up. Where I was choosing to give up my light for just
Women.
the ego, right? And yeah, the women specifically. If you want to put a label on it, it was just yeah, giving up my life for these random women that I'd be with for what, 2-3 days, just being honest. And Don and I sat down and after like a talk with Jamie, and I was like, yeah, I just don't know how to surrender, and Don and I sat down, and
And
he
you said
just,
you were scared to surrender.
yeah, I was extremely frightened to surrender, and
Now,
it's
just on that, just hold that right there, Sam. That's what I'm talking about, how the ego will trick you to do the opposite of what it is you need to do. So in other words, in Sam's case, it was what?
the surrender piece.
Yeah, that what were you afraid of about surrendering?
Oh, that I'd be abandoned.
There. You see? So that's how the ego works. The thing that he has to do, in this case, surrender, he was not able to do because he was afraid that he would be abandoned if he did that.
And yet he was abandoning himself already by giving up his light to the ego.
That's the tongue twister.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about. Same with Will. That's how people go to these programs, and most of them don't get the core piece to begin with, but those that do, then it's like, wow, the ego has them convinced that it's safer to do the opposite, just like with Sam.
Yeah. Kept on, yeah, abandoning myself for temporary pleasures because I thought if I was to step in my light fully, then what would happen is I wouldn't find a partner, I wouldn't have friends, which, I mean, what I realized after, the whole process is actually like all the right people end up just showing up just like this, as soon as you are able to fully surrender to your light. And I mean, what do you want more than being in your light? I mean, there's really nothing else. And so it was really powerful to finally be able to just realize what it was that was keeping me in this toxic pattern of giving up my light for not being abandoned, which I was already doing to myself. And
Well, it was that bad that Jamie and I had a discussion. I said, we got to let Sam go. Yeah, it was just so far out of his light. And at this level, you can't be not in your light. Impossible. And so we agreed to that. But Sam, wonderfully so, stepped up to the plate, gave me all the goods, cleaned it up overnight, but like not overnight. In
40 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying about the Sams and the Wills and the Jamies
I'm done.
and the Dons, I had to figure out my own twisted system. So upset that you guys got to be able to have it so quickly. And so That's the big difference. That's the big difference. That being able to recognize that, figure out what it is, and shift it. And so, awesome for Sam to become willing to do that. To become willing to do that. Same with Will. Came willing to do that. Zero resistance for either one of them. Zero. Which is awesome.
0 for you.
Well,
Jamie got a couple of punches.
I dealt with all the resistance before they got to you. It's just so you know.
Well, Jamie has like a different method, so might be that.
Yeah, whatever works. Congratulations.
yeah, we got
Thank you
there.
guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Sam.
Yeah, no problem.
So, where do we go from here? You doing that on the video or just move forward?
Yeah. So for those of you that are new, we got a video. For those of you returning to your divine focus, suggestion only.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith. That's Don with 2 N's. And I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call IAMDIVINITY. I say that I am divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself? Instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people have this for years, and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now what I did was I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, your divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes, 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. This same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called IAMDIVINITY. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free, free to be you, free to be who you truly are, and those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey. Awesome. Just want to read something here.
Good one, Tim. That's awesome.
That's a good one, Tim. Way to go, bud. Yeah, it doesn't matter how it got there. Yes, we can have fun with this amazing energy. You betcha. So, yeah, I think this is extra small, Gilbert. This is Jonathan. So, anyway.
I can make it work. Yeah, have lots of fun. It's amazing how little we're bothered by the external world when we're in our light. It's Certainly couldn't wear pink shiny coats if we were bothered.
yeah, yeah, we're tied up in what other people thought, which is what most people are, caught up in what others are going to think of them. Yeah. And so those are all the tricks. Those are all the tricks of the 3D and 3D world and the 3D programs. Yeah. The whole objective is to hold the vibration of 700 plus. That's the objective. Yeah. And to keep it. And even, in Will's case, it certainly wouldn't have taken 20 minutes in a sauna. It would have taken a lot more than that. The same with Sam. I don't know how much time we spent, Sam. 40 minutes. And that's because it was already done, and I can do it that fast, but I slow it down in the original so that others can understand what's happening. It makes it easier for them to retrace and put it back in place again. So just all the ways to get to be in our light and hold it. Yeah, so one is getting to be in our light, the other is to hold it. And the ego will find all these things. Oh, what about that? And what about this? Don't do that. And what about, did you do that? You missed something. And it'll just keep doing that, just to keep you questioning. But then when that neurocellular muscle gets so strong, it's like it takes a bulldozer of energy to throw us out of our light. It really does. There's something really, really serious. And even at that, only on a small scale. And then even on that small scale, it's getting back quickly. Yeah. So anyway, very exciting, actually. Very exciting to be able to deal with life's biggest challenges. And just sail over them and away you go. Yeah. So, and it's awesome when couples like Will and Chesser did a week or two ago, 10 days ago, did you do it together? Yeah, so when a couple is at the same level, Jamie and Nina, and hopefully Dawn and Rahma, but we'll see. That's not up to me. And so not up to me at all, other than requesting.
All and done on that.
So Anyway, if anybody's got any questions before we move forward. Let's see.
That sucks. Remember Amy having the financial question yesterday? Yeah, you're coding your money. Her
Oh, yes,
husband,
yes, okay.
children.
Huh. Yeah. Don't forget to throw me that 50% there, Amy. But that's what I'm talking about. You think about how Amy had that program running that she didn't even know she had running. Didn't even know she had running. That's the sneakiness of the ego. Okay, it'll create the program and then have it hidden in a way that doesn't even look like it's there. So wait, congrats, Amy. Congrats on you, first of all, sharing. Second of all, answering the questions I was asking. And third of all, you recoding everything. And there you go. It's awesome. Let's see.
Will, Amy's asking for a Divine Focus soundtrack. Can you send her the IAMDIVINITY one?
Soundtrack or the
The YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good one, Tim. Noticing the hidden programs disguising themselves as noble causes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure I shared this one a ways back. And just to give you an idea. So there was this lady that kept chasing me down, trying to do the process. And I knew she wasn't ready, like I just knew it. But then I thought, this went on for, 2 or 3 weeks. Then finally I agreed. I finally agreed to take her through the process. And so we did it, took her through, and it was like, oh my God. So what had happened was, I can't remember how many years, 10, 15 years or whatever. No, it was 20 actually, 20 years. And she had this severe pains in her chest. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then she kept asking me to do it. So finally I gave in and I took her through the process. And I go back, as most of you now know, like do just read something actually on. Went back to do phase 2. And she said, Don, I'm so grateful that this happened. Praise Jesus, praise Jesus, praise Jesus. I said, what are you praising Jesus for? Well, it was Jesus that took it away. I said, well, let me see if I remember correctly what you told me. That you were praying to Jesus for 20 years for it to be taken away. Am I correct? And then I said, why did it take Jesus 20 years to let it go? Well, she just flipped, like, you heathen, you whatever. I can't remember all of the blasphemous words. Get out, never want to see you again. And that's the ego using. So the program she was using didn't work. But when it worked, it was the program that didn't work that made it work. And that's the kind of toxicness, so that she went right back into her programming again. Yeah. So, and another one that stands out is a guy that he went after me for, must have been 2 weeks. And he, and finally I reneged. Because I know when someone's ready, I know when they're not. And the percentage of times that it works for those that are not ready is just not very beneficial for Don Smith. Let's just put it that way. And so anyway, and I can't remember exactly what it was that was going on for him, but I took him through the process, and no one else, all of the places he went to talk to people and do things never worked. So then we did it. And then it was like a 3-page litany of the dramatic transformations, changes in him because of his transformation. And then what he did was he went to his pastor, told him what he did and how amazing it was. And the pastor said, that is demonic. Was it demonic or like along that line? Get away from him. Get away from that guy, whatever his name is and whatever he does. It's blasphemous. And never saw him again. Yeah, so like, yeah, there's a million ways the ego has of either stopping us from taking it or figuring out how to make sure that you give it up after you do. So it's quite the journey. And so with what we're doing here is allowing people to access this awareness of what it looks like, how it can happen, the changes, how quickly the changes can happen, and then to be aware of all of the toxic programs the ego tries to get you to play to give it up. And that's all it is the ego wanting to stay alive. That's it. Okay. So there you have it. I've given you the power. And there it is. Tim, that's it. Everybody knew that we are given the power to undo those things. We were given the power, and we use that power to create those toxic programs. So we were given that power to undo them. And that's it. And I have yet to meet a religion system that's not either lightly or hardly praise Jesus, praise Jesus. Now, I'm not saying don't think you're God. But you need to give yourself credit that you did it. God, whatever it is, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Ramakrishna, like whoever is your God, you were given that power. You had that power. And it's up to you to use that power. And it's not up to someone else. So when I do it with someone, I am giving them the power all the way through. And then I have a technique to blow it off, to totally eliminate them. And then for them to hold it. So just like Will, he was blinded by how he had been stuck at 400. Sam, how he was dropped down to 300. Okay. And didn't even know it, didn't recognize it, or had a really good reason. So that's how this works. It's like, yeah, no, that's how it is. And it can be really twisted, actually. And Jamie with his narcissism 3 times. And it all seemed logical, you know. And the first thing most do is, okay, how am I going to get away from Dawn? Okay, how am I going to do that? Okay, that's the big one. If they can put some kind of a barrier up between me and them, and that's what Jamie did. Could you share one of them that you figured out how to put a wall up?
I mean, I just stopped updating you and then I stopped talking to you.
Right. Yeah. So,
By the way, if you're on one of the live stream platforms, I encourage you to get on the Zoom. The link would be in the description. Because there's a lot of great updates and comments here that we're just not able to get to anymore. So unless you're on the Zoom, you can't see the comments, which are awesome. Joanne has her hand up. Go ahead, Joanne.
Hi. You guys, I just love being in this divine focus as a collective. It's awesome. But I was mentioning when I came into the room, I was really struggling today because my mom's in long-term care. And when I got there, she was sitting crying, crying, "Oh God, help me." Now, in the past, I've said, "Mom, I'm here," meaning I'm God. I'm here. It's okay. Look at me. Look in my eyes. And she's flipped a switch and everything's been fine. But today, she just brought me out of my light and I joined her in her, like, she's got dementia. I don't know. I couldn't hold my space is what I'm saying, if that means anything. And sometimes I feel guilty because we've been going through this journey for 4 years together now, and I feel like I'm holding her here in some way, um, for my benefit, for me to feel some exchange of love. So I'm kind of lost.
certainly, well, my dad had dementia, my mom had dementia, got one sister that got dementia, and another one that just died. So lots of, and almost all of there was 10 of us, and I think 8, if not 8, yeah, 8 of them have some physical symptom of some sort. And so, I sometimes I visit people, and it's like, no matter what it is, Joanne, no matter what it is, this is for everybody. You got to remember that, being in your light is the answer for it, whatever it is. Being in your light. Okay, that is it. You feeling, was it guilty, you said?
Yeah, I feel some kind of guilt there.
Yeah, what's the guilt for? What about?
I felt like I wasn't in my light when I entered, and so I just joined her instead of
Yeah.
staying in my heart space, or like, it was overwhelming today.
Well, part of the overwhelming was you walking in there guilty. That's saying that you did something wrong. Okay. Now, whether it's I haven't been spending enough time with my mom, or I don't understand her, or I wasn't there for her, like, you could go on and fill an encyclopedia of the reasons for that. And think about every single thing you ever did wrong growing up, to your mom or whatever. But what does that do, Joanne? Tell me what that does. What's that accomplish?
Nothing. Nothing.
No? Then you're just being hard on you. And then you're taking that punishing energy into the room with your mom. Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you're in that state, how closed is your heart?
It's tight. It's closed.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to feel that pain.
yeah. And tell me how much worse you feel in that moment.
100% worse.
No, worth. How much worth
My worth, um,
at that
has a
moment?
struggle. It's pretty low. It's pretty low. Did you hear me, Don? Did you hear me, Don?
How much worth?
Zero, you're not hearing me. It's zero. 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 You have no audio.
Okay, Joanna, that was at our end. Our apologies.
Okay. Yeah, no, the worth is at zero.
Worth is at zero.
Yeah.
Huh. So tell me, imagine here's Joanne walking in to see her mom, her 92-year young mom. And she's got her heart closed. And she got zero worth. What do you have to
But
offer your what?
okay, so Don, I did not walk into the room at zero heart and zero worth. It was only when I saw her and she was crying that
Okay,
my heart dropped.
okay,
I see her every day. I have no guilt.
okay. Well, you told me you were feeling guilty about something. What were you feeling guilty about?
But when I saw her, my heart just exploded. So I see her every day and we have great days. It was just in
Yes.
the moment when she was crying, "Oh God, help me." And I felt
What?
like I had lost my power, like I was like the defense system was, I was like a child who could not help her. And that could
Huh.
have been the child in me not able to help myself. I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't matter. But notice that that feeling of helplessness and guilt and all of those things. Okay, you had your heart, whatever the reason and for how long or how quick or whatever, you closed your heart, correct?
In that moment, yes.
Yeah, in that moment.
Yes.
And at the same time, your worth evaporated.
Yes.
Okay, you did that.
Yes, I did.
Okay, now, do you remember a time you walked into that room with your mom and you were glowing?
Yes.
How open was your heart?
100%
How much
total
worth?
joy.
How much worth were you knowing that you were her daughter?
100%.
Okay, so who did that? Each of those
I
states, who did?
I I created that state in that moment. Yes.
Yes, you
Both
did, both
times.
times. Both times. One where close your heart, one where you shrunk your worth to nothing, and you had the guilt and whatever that came as a result. Agreed?
Yes.
On the opposite side of the coin, you've gone in there at 100% worth and 100% love. Now, who created those two states?
I did.
Damn right you did. Okay? So, how long do you want to do that toxic one? No matter what happens to your mom. It's got nothing to do with your mom. That's a trigger.
Okay.
You're
I,
100%
I,
in charge.
I don't want to feel pain like that.
Right.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay. Well, this process allows you to clean those things up so that that does not. Okay. And I don't know if
Okay.
you've done the videos and went through it or not, or I don't know those things. And
I keep running at you. I'm not giving up on me. I keep running at you. I'm Canadian.
oh, where are you? Wonderful. Whereabouts in Canada?
Just Mississauga
Okay,
originally.
right. Okay. Well, I'm Canadian too, so
I know
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, I'm saying that you're 100% in charge. I'm not saying that, you know, we're not going to be emotional around someone we deeply love. But notice what happened, that you started to do the guilt. You shut the worth down. There's no worth. Okay? And that's how the ego works. Okay, now, guess what? Imagine yourself. Okay, I want you to stand up for a second.
I'll take my computer with me. Okay.
Okay, good. Stand up, yeah. Now, what I want you to do is turn towards the wall. And towards the wall. Okay. Now see that you with a closed heart and zero worth. And notice what this feels like. Notice how toxic this is. Notice how heavy this is. Notice how small you feel. Did you get all that?
Yes.
How long do you want to visit your mom like that, or visit anybody in the planet like that?
None.
Okay, now watch this. Okay, is it okay to let that go? Is
Yeah.
this you?
No, it's not me.
Oh, with this thing. So would you have any reason that you would want to keep this? No matter what's going on with your mom.
No.
Right? So is it okay to let this go?
Yes.
So just see that in the bubble. All the toxic energy of no love, no worth. Feeling trapped. Put it on the big bubble. Tell me when it's there.
Okay.
Is that you? Is that your identity?
No. No.
Any particular reason you want to drag that around?
I don't want to drag this around.
Okay. Is that you in any way, shape, or form?
No.
So would you lose any piece of your identity by letting that go?
No.
So Got it in a big hot air balloon?
Ready to let it go, Don.
You sure? Whoa! Now turn around. See your beautiful light. Large is your heart, Joanne. Large is your heart, Joanne.
I would say 80% right now, Don.
Well, you take 3 more seconds for it to be 100.
Okay.
1,
Okay.
2, 3. What size is your heart?
It's
Now, it's you doing this. It's you slowing this down.
I know. Okay, stop this, Joanne. It's me doing this. Jamie's taught me a lot because he made me question if I was a narcissist too, right at the beginning. But I'm not. But just more analytical. Okay.
Okay.
I know
all I
how to
wanna
be
know is-
100%.
What?
I know.
Who's in charge of how open your heart is? What size it is?
I
Who's in
am.
charge? Okay.
I am.
So you went to 80%. Why'd you stop at 80?
Okay, not probably. I stopped at 80 because I didn't deserve to be at 100 in the moment.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Wonderful. So what's it like to keep punishing yourself, Joanne?
It's
Being a bad girl.
being a bad girl. Yeah. Okay. I'm stopping it, Don. I'm
Yeah, you are.
stopping it.
Yeah. You get to decide. And of course, your worth is affected immediately when you do that.
Yes.
So the ego is going to do everything it can to be able to keep a hold of you. You need to know how powerful you are.
Can I share a positive story for a moment?
Okay.
My light was shining today as well, even though I had a bad moment for a while.
Yeah.
My computer crashed on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I recognized that it was me that crashed the computer.
Way to go, Joanne. That's awesome stuff.
I knew I did that to me, and I was going, "What the hell did you do that for?"
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I phoned up a Nerds on Wheels that I had had years before. He came in today, and he couldn't fix it. Told me which computer to buy, but he didn't charge me for the visit, and he was here 3 hours. And that's how powerful I was in that moment.
Yes, Joanne. So when
I
you
got
want to
it.
take that power and be at 100 with your heart wide open.
Yeah. The messages are there. Yeah, I got it.
No,
And
I mean,
I love listening to everybody here. You guys really inspire me, all of you.
when are you going to be at 100?
I'm at 100 right now, Don.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and that
Thank
other
you.
is behind. You do not have to access that anymore.
No.
You created that and you just dissolved it. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie.
Congrats, Joanne. Hey, Gilbert, you're up next, buddy. Go ahead. Where is it?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, so I've been having that dilemma with the birth certificate. Yeah, it was intense yesterday. Was it? Yeah, definitely yesterday. And then Sam told me that I needed to surrender. I was like, man, I've been doing everything. I've been doing everything, updates, participating, everything. And and yesterday I called them up for like the eighth time, and I was like, why is it not going through? I have the information, everything's good to go. And then he tells me, he goes, how much did you say you pay for it? And I was just like, 172. He goes, yeah, that's not even our pricing. You need to call your bank to let them know that somebody scammed you. I was like, on top of everything else, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I called the bank up. Thank God they were merciful. And so that money got reimbursed. So that's good. And then I still owed like 45 for the other birth certificate. So I called them up because I just got my debit card in today. So I was gonna give them the update information. And then I checked my information online. You can just put your confirmation number and pull up the information. And I look at it, and in the bottom of the voicemail, I was like, all right, well, somebody paid for it because I didn't. Like like whoever in their back office paid for it completely and then has already shipped. So 3 to 5 business days it should be here. Finally got processed after God knows how many days, 20 plus days. Dang. So that was intense. And then last night I had a dream. I'm just gonna cut to the very end of it. And at the very end, there was a spiral staircase that was slowly but surely getting more narrow. And so I was climbing up even more, even more, even more. And then the staircase started to wobble like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to keep going up. And then I came back down. But when I woke up in the morning, I asked the question of why I didn't go further up. And it was once again, it whispered to me and said, is because it wanted you to surrender, the same kind of surrender as you would have if you were to just fall back and hope that your father would have catch you. And that hit me hard. And so I just like I said again, I just surrendered, and then all this beautiful stuff started to flow in today. So I'm just super grateful for that. So it was kind of ridiculous.
Awesome to find out how powerful you are. That you found out how powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It just flowed perfect today, like ridiculously perfect today after I surrendered further. Then when you thought you have already hit your limits, it's like it still shows that you have so much more potential hiding somewhere. But thank you
Yeah.
for letting me share. Appreciate you.
You betcha. Okay. So, quiet today. Well, it's interesting how the ego certainly um, can trick us in one way or another. Yeah. And just like with Joanne, was it Joanne? Yeah. Joanne not knowing, aware of her, why she was feeling guilty. There's always a reason, always. There's always a reason. Whether it's real or not, remains to be seen. So, anyway, it's the key about it is kind of like with Will today and Sam a couple of days ago. It's like not being aware, or certainly giving up their light, giving up their light somehow, some way, for some reason. And it does sound logical to them. to them. But when you get talking about it and all of that, it's like the next thing you know, it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense at all. So, there you go, Joanne. Bank gave you a loan for a course you hadn't wanted to take. So, yeah. The biggest thing is remembering your most powerful moment. That's it, because in that, you have your heart open. You have your worth, but just like Joanne, she was resistant. She was resistant to stand in her power. She was resistant to be in her light when she saw her mother being in pain or whatever the reason. But that's what we have to hold. And that's that neurocellular muscle. The stronger it is, boom, there it is. So, 11:11. Interesting. So some keep this, just it's amazing how some keep this, and others just keep giving it up and giving it up and getting back, giving it up and giving it up and getting back. And yet, the whole thing is this, is with our divine focus, that divine focus of that most powerful moment of you being in your light. The whole idea is to keep recreating that over and over, recalling that and recreating it. And spend like a minimum of a minute, like a minute in that light and just holding it. Okay, so I did it for like 2.5 hours this morning before, I was, well, maybe I will share what I've been delving into. And it's like that that divine God energy, that powerful God energy. And one day, I sleep outside on a roof and on a rooftop. And I was thinking about where is God? Like, what's that look like? And on all of that. And it was like, And I mentioned this yesterday, the day before. So there was a flock of birds. There was probably 15 in them. And they all went together. Thinking, wow. Like, that's not intellect. That's not like, okay, Will, I'm going to go this way. And Jamie, I'm, and telling everybody how I'm going to go. No, it's like that intuitive, just, and that's what they did. They went all around. I'm thinking, who created them? Who created those birds? Oh, so that's God energy in those birds. There was a breeze went by. Who did that? And all of a sudden it's like, wow, this God energy is everywhere. And that's a big difference of watching murder mysteries and listen to the news and how this person did this and that person killed so many people and all of that. A big difference. And it's like this God energy, where is it? Is it in a fly? Is it in a bug? Is it, in a worm? Is it in that person that you don't like? Is it in that one that you love? Where is it? And so our job is to be in that divine light of who we are and recognizing the light of the great divine of all. That's what it is. And when we can hold that and recognize it and be in it, be in that holding light of this divineness of ourselves, and then of course seeing it in others, no matter how toxic they are. It's kind of like I mentioned there about the guy that I was going to do everything I could to destroy him, not physically, but to undo his plans to destroy humanity. And then I realized, no, you can't do it that way. No, you can't do it that way. So the whole idea is do it in the way of making our light bright as bright can be. And when we do that, well, darkness just leaves. You don't have to fight with the darkness. It's just not there. And so that's what I've been doing. And that's that, holding that vibration of my divinity and have it get immensely larger as often as can be and as strong and as large as can be. I do it just for myself. And it just happens that people are affected by that in a positive way. And of course, there's some that just run to the hills, like run to the hills. And some do that to take the process, and then all of a sudden you never hear from them again. You just never hear from them. And that's the ego's got them convinced that I'm their arch enemy, and so stay away from me. So anyway, it's quite interesting, our journey, and I'm so pleased to have so many people like seeing what this is and wanting to get involved with what this is and be in what this is, having your own experience and to be in that state of bliss, because that's what we're here for. Be in the state of bliss and get rid of the pleasant stories and the negative stories and just the ones that aren't who we are. Yeah. So
They're all picking on us.
That's good. Yeah, you guys do it. Keep it up. Okay. So, but right now I hear my ego say, how do you sleep outside? Not worried about having birds poo on you. No, well, that first of all, that never crossed my mind. Okay. No. Well, I had a sweetheart for 5 years, and she at one time she lived in the wilderness off the land for a whole year. A whole year she lived where the grizzly bears were and the cougars and everything. Yeah, she lived off the land, bark and like just berries, and so I think she took 5 things like a knife, and I can't remember, but she literally lived off the land. Yeah. And once, just to give you an idea, we were walking together and we were going to go up a stream where all these grizzly bears were feeding on the salmon. And she said, well, maybe we can go through the old growth forest and just walk through there and come up behind on it by the waterfall. Sure, no problem. So there was this snaking creek about this wide. And we were walking, and she was about, 3 feet ahead of me. And she got down to get a drink of water in the stream. And there was a bush about 4 feet away. And it was about 8 feet high. And all of a sudden we heard this rustle. And here's this 800-pound grizzly on the other side of the bush, sitting right there. And the two of us just name was Nikki, and we just started quietly backing up. The grizzly bear stood up, turned its head, snorted, and walked away. So she was in that environment for a whole year. And so there's lots of things that could have happened. But if we don't have that fear, so the bear didn't, there was nothing there to harm it or to threaten it, because we were both very calm, quiet, and just kept backing up out of the way. And the next thing you know, the bear stood up and walked the opposite way. So I've certainly never thought of bird poo, but the only thing that sometimes it starts raining in the middle of the night, and I might get a little wet before I realize. But it's certainly beautiful. And that was another thing about seeing the God energy. I mean, that was about a week ago, I think. And it was a starlit night. Oh my God, it was absolutely beautiful. I'm thinking, wow, who created that? Who created that? Who did that? It wasn't me, that's for sure. And so and how magnificent and large and beyond words to describe. And imagine having that awareness of this God energy in everything, in the star, in the moon, the sun, blade of grass, everything that has life, everything that has life. And we have that power. We have that power. So isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? So anyway, let me see. Way to go, Eric. Way to go, not giving in to that darkness. That's a pretty low number, 100. Yeah, totally. So way to go, bud. That's a great test, an awesome test. Yeah, totally. Very exciting. Way to go, bud. Yeah, there's lots of things in nature that tell us what's happening, animals and whatever. So we are here to be in our light. It's that simple, and the brighter, the better. Yeah. How do we know where we're at on the level? Well, Dr. Hawkins has a muscle test. I will tell you how I do mine, because I don't want to be trick myself. So I figured out a way to do that. You know, those 4 and 5 and 6 liter bottles of water. Well, I use one of them, and a full one, and I will just go like this. You know, is this, am I, you know, is this in alignment with me? And if whatever that is, if it's not in alignment, I literally can't budge it with my hand. And then I'll ask a question that is in alignment, and with one finger, I can lift that 5 liters. So one, I can't budge it. Okay, so that's just me. That's how a way I had to figure bypassing ego energy. And so it can't lie to me. So that's how I do it. But if Dr. Hawkins, he's way more proficient at those kind of things than me. It's yes, you know, so, the whole nature is divine, and yeah. So you can, you know, I resonate at 200 and above, you know, or you know, and so that's a way you can test. Yeah. Is it in alignment with me? Yes. Is it bringing me closer or further away from my divinity? Those are the kind of things that great way to ask questions. And so there is that. I don't pay too much attention to the chart. All I'm doing is every day I know what I need to do to be in my light. And that's where I spend my time, is either being in my light or figuring out ways to be in my light, and or assisting others. And so it was exciting. Like things could have went sideways here in the last 3 or 4 days, you know, with Sam. He was getting out of his light, and it just wasn't a fit. And we made a decision. And the awesome news, Sam just totally surrendered. I showed him how well he had surrendered some. He had surrendered in a context in his life. And so I just unraveled that. Like, who was it yesterday that I unraveled the money? Amy, was it? And the coding for the money. And yes, Amy, got it. So that's how this happens. It's like either being in her light or not, and measuring it. And yeah. And so with Sam, he was completely open. There wasn't an ounce of resistance, not an ounce. And we just, 20 minutes later, it was like all gone. Everything was shifted. So that's pretty awesome, actually. And then, you know, a buddy here this morning in the sauna, Will, and I just asked him how long he planned on staying at 400, and then he gave me all the reasons why he was at 400, and didn't take us long to swim our way through those programs, and for him to get back into his beautiful light. And the crazy thing was, what's crazy is that he did it before and had staggering results instantly. And then his ego convinced him that that doesn't work, or whatever way he did it. Whatever way it was, had him convinced to give it up. So cautious of that. But the biggest thing is just turning your back on it. Just turning your back on those stories that you like was it Joanne? Joanne was her mom, like just turning her back, not on her mom, but on those stories and programs. Just turn your back on it and access one of your light stories, one of your divinity stories, and hold that vibration. Yeah. So there you have it. My partner here beside me is a little quiet today.
Well, I've been doing something the last couple of days that less and less interesting to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah. What do we got here, Tim? Breaking neural habits. What are you saying there, Tim? But I tell you, some of the things that warms my heart was the story of Noah with his little 2-year young daughter, and he watched her. She watched him once do his infinite awareness and link his fingers and say, "I am." And she did it on her own. Isn't that amazing? Like age 2. And so it's pretty exciting, actually. So there's always in our environment, remember that being in our light, being in that bliss state is our natural state. It's not meant to be once every 3 months or 3 years or 10 years. Okay. And that raising that conscious above 200, 210 actually, 210 is the first goal. And then 700 and higher. Yeah. So imagine just walking around in life, and never too young to know. As you have said, children naturally have a sense of divinity. They do. They can pick it up, see it, recognize it. Like I was telling you, like last week, at my wife's sister's function for their little 4-month-old young Donalda, and like these 20 kids surrounding me, and I probably knew maybe 4 of them. The rest were just recognizing the light in a crowd of 500. In a crowd of 500, they all showed up, and yeah, it's awesome. And the more I see people that have exposure to it and doing something with it, because it's crazy, really crazy, the difference in how a person processes information in their light and how a person processes the same information out of their light. It's day and night. Okay. But the awesome thing is, you can't go any further than Will and Sam, as far as I'm concerned. So this morning, Will, like I just said, so Will, how long do you want to stay at 400? And then he gave me all these reasons, and which none of them made any sense. And And then, you know, in a couple of questions, and 10 minutes later, he was at 700. Now, we're talking about Dr. Hawkins saying, you know, I think it was, I don't know how many years, we're talking like 200 years, humanity took to go from 200 to 201. And Will went 300 in 10 minutes. Actually, it only took a second, but yeah. So that's the difference. Exactly, Gilbert. That's right, Vanessa. And the kids can see it, like adults have a tendency to question, like, what is this? What's that guy? You know, that kind of thing. Whereas children don't do that. They aren't questioning, they're just seeing the light and they want to be around it. Whether it's a cat or a dog, you know, that, you know, like I said, we were coming in the gate 2 nights ago and I was driving my truck. My truck is quite high because I got it for going through the mountains. And we were waiting for the door to open. And there were 6, 7, or 8 kids. And they were, yeah, like they were just like as if they were at a big party or something. They were just going on and on and on, and just saw the light. So that's what we're here for. That's exactly what we're here for. Is to access our own light and to hold it for others. Done. It's that simple. Okay? And like you're saying, Gilbert, people stopping to let you go by. Yeah.
That's dangerous though. Like I gotta watch where I cross the street because they shouldn't be doing that. Like that's dangerous.
Well, I wouldn't be concerned about that. I'm sure that they will figure that one
Okay.
out. I don't put a fear factor in something like that.
I didn't have it at the time for sure, but just now thinking about it, I'm like, they shouldn't have done that.
Well, once again now, Gilbert, that putting fear to it now and not then, the reason it didn't happen is because you didn't have the fear.
Yeah. True,
Okay.
true.
Yeah.
True.
Got it? So, that's our job. For those of you that have found out what it's like to be in our light, and the whole objective with this program that Jamie and Sam have set up is to for you to have an opportunity to have your friends and family and co-workers and whatever to access this program so that they can be in their light and you're compensated for it. Like how amazing is that? Like how amazing is that? So you get to be in your light, then you do something natural and that's natural, and have others be able to access this process and for them to be in their light. And the next thing you know, wow, there's this whole community, there's this whole family, there's this whole whatever. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited for all of you. First of all, to get in your own light. Second of all, to have a platform whereby which you can have your family and friends and co-workers or neighbors or whatever
Be aware of it, take the process, and then those circles, those little circles, get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the next thing you know, you have a whole community talking the natural language of being in your life. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, totally. Gilbert, totally, man. Yeah. Well, just notice what it's like on this call.
That's in the chat.
Huh? Right. Yes.
Partner video? Or the partner video?
So never be afraid. Never be, oh, perfect. Never be afraid of your life in other environments. Never. Sweet, they got the eagle creeping into interaction with the paramedic agent. There you go, Paul. That's how this works. Okay? That's it. So that's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to be in our life. Yeah.
My name's Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey. Just congratulations for even finding I Am Divinity. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take his instant and permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit. I was still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist. My financial gains in business and investing would shoot up and then cut right down and start over, shoot up, cut right down, and I could never hold my my success. Going through his program, it was about 2 hours. All of my toxic patterns and programs were completely gone. Literally just gone in a second. And I can't even describe how liberating that moment was for me. But right after that, I told Don, I said, I don't want to do any of the business that I'm currently doing. I woke up to my purpose for coming to the planet. When Don told me his vision of raising humanity's consciousness to the level of 700 on the scale, enlightenment, which was the cause of all causes. The level of consciousness is the cause of all of our individual and collective problems on the planet. And so to finally have that solution, experiencing that solution for myself, I just wanted to tell everyone and anyone that would listen. And of course, with all my entrepreneur background and my skills in marketing, I made an agreement with Don so that I could just, literally my job would be to hold my light and share my light with others and bring them to the process and actually get compensated for it. And so I'm super excited to announce that we've now created this entire system for you too. Now imagine that, being able to go through this instant and permanent transformation for yourself, be liberated of all your toxic patterns and programs, literally within a couple hours. And then on top of that, being able to have all your financial fuel and energy and livelihood come from this divine system. And so there's a few pieces to it. Number one, we have an affiliate partnership program. So you're a partner. Your job is to hold your light, share your light, and anyone that's attracted to it, bring them to the program, and we pay out 30% of all the financial part of the system to you. That's the first part. The second part is my experience in the financial realm took me into Forex and crypto over the last 10 years. And I've been through all the roller coaster rides, all the ups and downs, all the scams and schemes. And we landed on just a couple people that were actually full of integrity, that have actually gone through the divinity process, and that are like nothing else. So our Forex fund is ran by an institutional trader. And if you've ever done anything in the financial realm in Forex, 99% of the retail space, the average everyday person, it's a scam. It's a scheme. You're going to lose your money. Maybe you're one of the few that got in early and took the money from the others, but eventually it collapses. I've seen them come and go over the years. But this institutional trader, he has 7 years of experience, and we have his entire track record of his strategy. He has an algorithm. He spent over $20 million in development up to this point. And so even with all that being said, there's still no guarantees. Of course, when it comes to investing, please only risk what you can afford. But we found something that's more solid than I've ever experienced, and it's where our personal funds are. And so you'll have access to that as well. His team has produced over the last 7 years on average 50 to 60% per year on the funds. And you don't have to do anything. You open up the brokerage account, our team will help you do that, and you park your funds there like you would a bank account, and his algorithm trades on all of the accounts. And so we can expect a 50 to 60% if it's anything like the previous average. But again, all the past performance never guarantees anything in the future. Just please be mindful of that. And then the last piece is our crypto fund. Now the crypto fund is very time sensitive. So a good friend of mine, Josh, who's handling the crypto fund, he's become an expert at this stuff. That's all he does every day. He goes and researches the top legitimate projects in crypto. To give you an example, in 2021, which was the last crypto bull run, Josh on his personal portfolio did over 8,000% that year. 8,600 to be exact. And so this was a kid that was 21 at the time and had his life savings in crypto and became a millionaire over that year of investing. And so just this last year, Josh told me, hey, I'm going to do what I did last bull run, but I'm going to open it to a few friends and family. I said, Josh, no problem. I trust you. I sent him the funds for myself, and then I said, Josh, I want to open this up to our entire community. He said, well, I don't know if legally that's a little tough. I said, don't worry, I'll work on that. And we created Divine Markets, which is a legal entity to be able to facilitate this, both the Forex fund and the crypto fund. And so we overcame that, and Josh is exclusively handling all the crypto for our community. And his target for the next year is 1,000%, about a 10x on the funds. And again, there's absolutely no guarantees. Please only risk what you can afford to risk. And so that's it. That's the overview. It's pretty simple. You got the affiliate partnership program, which again is just going to share the financial part with you so that you can actually create a network and an income for yourself while holding your light and sharing your light. Which, by the way, going through this process, we wouldn't be able to pay you to not tell people about it, because you're just going to be radiating and people are going to be attracted to you. And so we just wanted to create a system where we're all partners in this to reach that goal of 114 superheroes of light that are holding this and shifting humanity's consciousness. And so I welcome you to be a part of that vision and mission and part of our team. And I'm excited for you to go through your process. By the way, all of this financial part is only exclusively available to those of you that have gone through the process and committed to that. So it's not going to be available to anyone else. So what a bonus, what a reward for accessing your light and holding it, that you get access to an institutional trading fund that you wouldn't be able to get access to unless you had $250,000 and you're an accredited investor and all those things that the institutions look for. So we created a bridge for you on that. And the crypto fund, unless you know someone like Josh, And even if you did, it's not cheap or easy to get involved with those things. But we've made it easy for those of you that go through this process. It's a $500 minimum on the Forex fund, $500 minimum on the crypto fund. So that's it. I'm excited for you, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, everybody.
Doing the onboarding call? We'll see you tomorrow, same time, and we'll do the support call.
Okay. So we got Will doing the support call for you, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time.
Sam, it says Jamie looks like he's floating on cloud.
Yeah, you're not far off, sir, Jenna. Not far off. Yeah, the 3D world is getting challenging to be in, actually. Dropping down to the 3D. So you guys get busy and come up to the 700 plus. Yeah, we'll show you how to go even further than that once you get there.
And Will's doing the onboarding call now.
Oh, perfect.
I gotta set it. So.
Oh, and Will is going to be doing the onboarding call for you right now.
In 10 minutes.
In
10 minutes.
In 10 minutes, okay. And
See you tomorrow, same time.
see you tomorrow, same time. And need to keep make this challenging to keep Jamie what would be the word? Engaged in one way or another.
Maybe just feed you your lines.
Yeah. Don't listen to him, everyone. Just don't listen to me. It'll be okay. Yeah. So, you know, to really make this interesting is to, you know, bring 2 or 3 or 4 people that you know. That's how it's going to get interesting really fast. And to have these crazy, amazing stories being told, whether it's the Janet one or the Newell one or the Amy one or the whatever. Yeah. And there you have it. So we'll see you tomorrow.